Wow, everyone. Just wow. I'm about to share with you the latest fake scandal that is being used either to try to topple Netanyahu and his government or stop us from winning this war. But don't leave until the end, because I will share with you at the end a true damaging intelligence scandal having to do with October 7th that has a gag order on it, and that's truly stopping us from winning this war. All right, so the Israeli justice system, senior IDF command, and establishment media once again have gone completely off the rails, exposing more their true colors as political actors with an agenda of anti-Netanyahu and anti-us winning this war. This corruption is reaching new lows, and it's becoming clearer by the day that many within these institutions are more focused on undermining the government than protecting Israelis and winning this war. What's the latest scandal? Several suspects arrested amid probe of Prime Minister's office over alleged classified intel leak. So it's an alleged leak of a document stolen from the Prime Minister's office that was found in Gaza, written by none other than Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar. In this document, Sinwar admits that Hamas is using Israeli captives as tools to divide Israeli society, refusing every ceasefire that's offered, hoping and using it to fuel internal chaos in Israel to shift blame onto Netanyahu instead of on Hamas. From the start, it's been Hamas blocking ceasefire after ceasefire deals. But the media in Israel and the Jewish media and the world hasn't been telling you that. In fact, they publicized this information about Hamas admitting all this months ago, and the document that was leaked merely confirmed it. And this is what's amazing. While the Israeli justice system jumps at the chance to launch a full-blown investigation over this Hamas document supposedly leaked, there's radio silence over the countless of leaks coming from our own security officials and politicians like Gantz and Eisenkot. Since the beginning of the war, hundreds of leaks were aimed to pin the blame on Netanyahu for the ceasefire deals not going through. But the justice system and the media didn't blink an eye about those leaks. I want you to listen to what Israeli columnist ינון Magal has to say about this scandal.
על הדבר הזה, כן, אתם זוכרים את ההדלפה לפני כמה חודשים, הם פתחו בחקירה, תסבירו לי רגע, אני לא מבין. והם אומרים שזה פגע ביעדי המלחמה. זה פגע ביעדי המלחמה? ההדלפה הזאת, על המניפולציות שסינואר וחמאס עושים במלחמה, הלחץ על משפחות החטופים, הלחץ בהפגנות על הממשלה וכל הדבר הזה, על זה הם פותחים בחקירה. מה עם כל ההדלפות שהיו פה עשרות ומאות הדלפות שפגעו באמת באינטרסים של מדינת ישראל, שהדליפו תוך כדי משא ומתן, ואני אומר לכם את זה לא מהדרג המדיני, מאנשי מקצוע, בכירים במערכת הביטחון שאמרו לי שאי אפשר לנהל משא ומתן בגלל שהכל דולף החוצה. כי הכל דולף החוצה מתוך צוות המשא ומתן, שום חקירה. מה עם הסרטון? אתם זוכרים את הסרטון השקרי, המפוברק, המבושל, נגד לוחמי כוח 100 שהציגו אותם כפושעים, כאנסים של מחבל נוח'בה, שקרי, ערכו סרטון שיצא מתוך כנראה, מתוך צה"ל, מתוך הפרקליטות הצבאית. אף אחד לא חוקר את זה. הם לא חוקרים את הדבר הזה, שיצא נגד חיילי צה"ל. פתאום יש להם חקירה על מסמך, שמבחינתם משרת את האג'נדה של נתניהו להראות שחמאס תוקע את העסקה. וזה תוקע את האג'נדה של מערכת הביטחון ושר הביטחון לעסקה בכל מחיר. אתם קולטים את הטירוף של האירוע הזה? אתם קולטים כמה יש פה דיפ סטייט? כמה המערכת פה יוצאת נגד הדרג המדיני על הדלפה שכביכול משרת את האינטרסים של הדרג המדיני של ראש הממשלה, אותו הם חוקרים, עוצרים אנשים במעצרים, הם עוצרים אותם על הדלפה, כשכל ההדלפות שהם מדליפים מתוך מערכת הביטחון, אין סוף הדלפות, הם לא פותחים בחקירות, כולל פגיעה באינטרסים, מבצעים, מתי הם יהיו, מה ישראל רוצה, מה היעדים שלה, תקשיבו, זה אירוע מטורף. זה אירוע מטורף.
Now I want you to listen to what Israeli minister of the Israeli government, Amichai Shikli, has to say.
אנחנו ראינו לכל אורך המלחמה, בעיקר בתחילתה, עד לפרישה של גנץ ואייזנקוט, הדלפות סדרתיות מדיוני קבינט. הדלפה מדיוני קבינט זה דבר חמור מעין כמותו. יש פה גם כשל של הצנזור, מנדלבליט, שאין לי מושג איך הוא הגיע למסקנה שהוא מאשר את הפרסומים מתוך דיוני הקבינט בראייה של ביטחון המדינה. האם ביטחון מדינת ישראל לנגד עיניו או שיקולים אחרים? היה לנו הדלפות מדיוני שון, שהם הרבה יותר מצומצמים. אני לא יודע למי היה שם אינטרס, אולי לאנשים שהיו קודם כל פעילי מחאה לפני שהם היו בדיוני שון, אבל גם משם הודלפו מידעים רגישים. אחר כך, וזה הכי חמור, והדלפה, מהמתקן הצבאי הכי רגיש במדינה, עם חומרים שרק לצבא יש נגישות אליהם, חומרים ששותפו, ועשינו על זה מחקר במשרד התפוצות, לעמוד את הנזק. 100 מיליונים של אזרחים בכל רחבי העולם קיבלו ידיעות לפיהם חיילי צה"ל הם אנסים. נזק חסר תקדים למעמדה של מדינת ישראל. נזק חסר תקדים למעמדו של צה"ל. אני שאלתי בישיבת הממשלה הקודמת את סגן הרמטכ"ל. אמרתי, אולי פחות מדברים על זה בחדשות. ואני שואל אותך, כבוד סגן הרמטכ"ל, איפה עומדת החקירה של ההדלפה משדה תימן? אני דורש תשובות. אנחנו דורשים תשובות. הנזק שנגרם למדינת ישראל הוא טקטוני. זה לא עוד אירוע. זה אירוע עצום. הנזק הוא נזק אדיר. הנזק הכי כבד שנגרם במלחמה אולי, מבחינה תודעתית, זה הסיפור הזה של שדה תימן. הוא אמר, קודם כל איש רציני מאוד, אני מאוד מעריך אותו. הוא אמר, אני בודק, ואני אחזור, ואני מקווה מאוד שיהיה לנו את המידע הזה, ולכן אני חושב שלהיטפל עכשיו לסיפור הזה, שאני לא יודע בדיוק מה ומי ומו, ולהציג את ראש הממשלה כמי שניסה לטרפד עסקה, זה פשוט קשקוש, כל כך, האיפה ואיפה שיש בהקשרים האלה, זה דבר שהוא בלתי מתקבל על הדעת.
Folks, this is a seriously harsh situation of selective justice, being exposed to all who are able to drown out the agenda of the mainstream media, pushing the judicial system's anti-Netanyahu narrative that serves the interests of those who want to stop the war and leave our Islamo-Nazi enemies in power and position to continue threatening us in the future. So Israeli journalist Shimon Riklin also put it perfectly. For a stolen Hamas document, there's outrage. But for the leaks from Israel's own security officials, silence. Now, journalist Tamir Morag takes it a step further, calling out what he calls the hypocrisy, quote, what about the fabricated video from the justice system against our IDF soldiers? This slander against our IDF soldiers went global, yet there's been no investigation. Selective enforcement? It's not implied. It's blatant. He said it straight out. The Prime Minister's office responded to this smear campaign, clearly stating, quote, the published document never reached the Prime Minister's office from the Intelligence Corps, and the Prime Minister learned about it from the media. The alleged leaker had no access to classified information, and the document itself, already public knowledge, was even used in a German newspaper article to support Israel's case, helping, not hurting, Israel. From secret cabinet meetings to confidential hostage negotiations, leaks have been flooding out of Israel, each one aimed at damaging Netanyahu and undermining his government. Meanwhile, leaked videos and slander have incited global defamation against our holy IDF soldiers, as you heard earlier from Shikli and Magal, all while certain politicians and media outlets have stayed silent. This is such a sad reality, especially as we're in the middle of an existential war, and to have our citizens go back to their homes. But if anything, it's revealing what Netanyahu and his right-wing partners have been up against for all these years. They have been facing a deep state entrenched in the system that's actively working to subvert the policies for which they were elected to implement. And this is the justice system, senior officials in the security services, and the media. And as I've been saying since October 7th, Israel is winning this war, thanks to miracles from God above and our holy IDF soldiers on the ground, not because of the senior command within the security services, not because of the judicial system, and not because of the establishment media. Those institutions seem more invested in removing Netanyahu than in allowing Israel to win this existential war and provide true security for its citizens. But for anyone paying attention, this isn't new. I've spoken about this deep state issue for over 30 years, since the Oslo Accords. Only now Israelis are finally waking up to see this reality with their own eyes, and only those who are not being brainwashed by the establishment media. And here's how my friend Erez Tadmor summed it up in a post. Quote, sorry, but this affair smells like yet another attack from the top of the security establishment against a prime minister who refuses to submit to the defeatist policies that they're trying to push. End quote. By the way, there is actually a true intelligence scandal that the justice system is covering up with a gag order that forbids the media from talking about it, even though it is a truly huge and very damaging scandal. It took place on the morning of October 7th, literally just hours after Hamas started its massacre of Israeli citizens. A former Israeli soldier allegedly was sent undercover into a highly classified IDF base and took highly classified information that caused the IDF to change and hold up its military plans for an offensive in Gaza. And it stopped the IDF from moving forward to immediately try to save some of the hostages taken into Gaza. Allegedly, the indictment against this soldier names highly connected people in Israel. Yet the justice system is covering up this whole scandal and sweeping the case under the radar by saying that the spy was not mentally fit. Well, Israeli lawyer Ephraim Dimri, who I have to interview one of these days, he is working on this case, and last week he publicly said the following.
ברגע שחלק מהשמות שלהם ייחשפו, גוש הימין במדינת ישראל יעבור את ה-90 מנדטים. תבדוק אותי.
Folks, that is an extremely damning indictment by Israeli attorney Ephraim Dimri, and might just explain why the justice system, again in cahoots with the deep state of those at the top of the security services, have a gag order on this indictment. And instead of allowing the Israeli public to know the details of a truly damning intelligence scandal that possibly can explain a lot of many unanswered questions about October 7th, the justice system is working with the establishment media to continue to spread scandals about Netanyahu, to continue to try to topple him, which they have been continuously trying to do for 30 years, since he first came to office in 1996. And they're always failing. He's still in power because they are the scandalous ones, not Netanyahu. This is the very damaging deep state that we are dealing with here in Israel. And folks, you have it in America as well. Every country has a deep state. But it's all good. This is all part of a wake-up process we all have to go to. And it seems like this war is exposing a lot. And thanks to God above, we here in Israel are overcoming our obstacles, including our Islamo-Nazi enemies, including the Biden-Harris administration stopping us from truly winning this war, including international pressure, and our own internal deep state challenges stopping us from winning this war. We are truly living in unbelievable times, even though we have this tragedy and trauma. And I share all this information with you not to get you depressed, but for you to better understand our reality beyond the headlines and to be inspired by what is really going on with the Jewish people back as sovereign in our ancestral homeland. So be inspired. Help me share the truth. Help people understand what they're not being told by the establishment media. Am Yisrael Chai. We're going to win, folks. We are winning, and we're going to win. And this is a spiritual battle more than the physical battle, because it's against all these powers. Our physical enemies would not be able to be doing what they're doing against us if it wasn't for all these other spiritual challenges we're up against, including the internal ones of this deep state of officials in the security establishment, the justice system, the media. It's all part of a spiritual war. They want to stop us from actually maximizing our potential as the Jewish people returned as sovereign in our ancestral homeland. And we're making it happen. Am Yisrael Chai. If you are not yet a subscriber to my daily Pulse of Israel videos, what are you waiting for? For the daily belief-based, inspiring, politically incorrect truth, go to pulseofisrael.com and click to subscribe. And yes, we need your support. We're a donor-based organization, heavily censored and shadow banned across all social media channels. Every once in a while, click on the donate button on pulseofisrael.com. Shalom, everyone, from the beautiful ancestral Judean hills of the land of Israel.
Pulse of Israel, frontline videos from the Holy Land. Support our work by donating today.